We're now confronted with a Russian invasion of Ukraine, so a large-scale conflict on European soil that many would have thought unthinkable a few years ago. And it just goes to show that we need to prepare for everything. Cyber is a very big part of this conflict. Russia used cyber to prepare the battleground in Ukraine. They used cyber attacks as they invaded Ukraine, and they're still using cyber to attack Ukraine as we go along on their critical infrastructure. Innovation changes the nature of war, and you need to adapt. Both as a defender and an attacker, you need to adapt to those new technologies. So at the moment we're seeing Russia using a large amount of Iranian drones in attacking critical civilian infrastructure in Ukraine. And that means that we need to assist Ukraine in defending against that new threat. So it's a continuous game of adapting to the threat you see, and then making sure you have new technological, innovative solutions to counter that threat. We definitely see a lot of security implications from climate change in a number of fields, and NATO now has an action plan to work on those solutions. And it's based on 3 pillars. So one is awareness. We want to make sure that we know what is happening in our surroundings, whether it is the opening up of the Northern Sea route as the ice recedes, or whether it's the further drying up of the Sahel and the implications that might have on food, water and migration. We also want to know what will happen to our own military installations, the flooding of military bases, our own electricity plants. Are we safe and are we resilient enough? So the second pillar is adaptation. In any case, we are now already facing more extreme temperatures. Soldiers are operating in temperatures over 50 degrees. At some days in Iraq, we are seeing more disasters. So the military has to adapt to those changes. And finally, we also need to be part of the solution. So as the society moves away from fossil fuels, the armed forces will not be left behind. And we need to think about that transition. So we are also part of the solution, and we are durable for the future to come. I think that the challenge we have as a defense community is to communicate more open to these innovators what we actually need, because a lot of times the military doesn't know what new technologies are around the corner, and a lot of the innovators don't know what is needed in a military context. And so to bridge that gap, I think, is priority number 1. And priority number 2 is then to be able to have rapid procurement methods to make sure that we bring these technologies in at the speed of relevance. And the defense organizations and governments in general are not famous for having fast procurement processes. So our challenge is really to make sure that we have a workable, agile way of communicating with innovators and bringing in new technologies at the speed of relevance.